I heard someone say this the other day. He said, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm just going to wait until I'm my best self before I go and find my wife. And I'm listening to this conversation and I can't help but think of how stupid that is. The idea behind it may sound good. Like it sounds like he wants to improve before he goes and finds his wife. But here's what he doesn't get. First, with that mindset, he's always going to have an excuse of not being his best self, which will get him out of not trying to talk or find his girl. And second, how do you expect to find your wife before you've never actually gone and talked to a girl before? Like seriously, it's the same thing as expecting to bench 225 without ever consistently benching. You have to put in the reps before you get what you want. It's the same with this as just everything else. The girl of your dreams isn't just going to fall into your lap one day. You have to go out and make shit happen. They think they deserve it for some reason, and they're arrogant of the work that is required to get the desired outcome. Here's how his life will go if he does this. There's a few options. So the first one is he might get lucky and actually meet his wife through a friend's friend without ever trying to get a girl's number on his own. The second is he'll procrastinate approaching girls because, quote, he's not his best, and he'll either settle for a girl or he'll never actually get one. And lastly, or he'll finally feel like he's at his best, but then when he goes and tries to approach girls, and that's if he even does it, he'll have no idea what to say because he's actually never done it before. He's waited so long to start. This is a very important lesson for every guy. We get tricked by social media thinking that we need to have the most money or the most muscle to get the girls of our dreams. And while that sounds nice and may be accurate, it's just not true. These are cop-outs for people who are just too insecure to talk to women. They need every little thing to be perfect in order for them to be enabled to act. But that's just not reality. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you're going to die waiting. So I remember growing up, like in about elementary school, I used to be able to talk to anyone. But then as I went to high school, I noticed that I became like severely introverted. It was hard for me to talk to anyone, just like classmates or teachers or anyone. And I mean, honestly, I wasn't even able to like really order food for myself. But then as I got into college, when I, started living on my own, I was able to order for myself and start talking to people. But it wasn't just like a switch overnight. Like I remember not being able to talk to any girls or, meet any new friends. And, it sucked. I labeled myself as an introvert for so long. But then, after watching, too much Charisma Command and all these videos on how to, become extroverted and get social skills, I learned that it's literally just as simple as just putting in the reps and actually doing it. So, like one thing that I used to do a lot my first year of college was I would literally just, like the moment I stepped on campus, I just made it my goal to just try to make as many friends as possible. And so whenever I went to the gym and I went to, go on a machine or something, if there's a guy using it, like I would just start like like a 2 minute conversation because I'm not trying to talk for, forever at the gym, but I still wanted to make friends. And so after doing this for so long, I ended up, basically getting to a point where, I would bunch of people on campus. I wasn't like, friends with them, but I would at least like see them at the gym and be able to dap them up. So that was like pretty huge with, going from having, extreme fear of talking to waiters and now I can make friends with anyone. Another thing that I also did too was every time I saw a girl that I thought was pretty, I would just go talk to her. I'm definitely not like a pickup artist, but I didn't see any of my friends doing that. And what that allowed me to do was basically go from severely introverted and not being able to, even make eye contact with women, but now I can actually go and hold eye contact, smile, and, strike up a conversation. And it was just, this was like the breaking moment that allowed me to go from, very anxious and not knowing what to say to, not being able to shut up in a conversation. And literally, it's not about any of these like mind tricks. It's not about affirmations or, pickup lines or any of that middle school shit. It's literally just about putting in the reps and doing it. Like you can watch all these videos, but if you don't actually go and take the next step of talking to someone, you're never going to get good at it. And like I know it's hard at first, but ultimately, like we put hard as just a label on things that we've never done before. But once you start doing them, they don't become hard anymore. So you just got to do it. Like I was just talking to someone yesterday, and he was saying how he wants to wait until like he's his best self to get his girl. And I didn't say anything because it's not my place. But by just not knowing how to approach girls, like this dude doesn't even He's never even talked to a girl in his life. And he's had girlfriends before. And, they ended up not turning out well because he didn't actually choose them. And so when you actually have the power to choose, the only way to do that is to actually just talk to who you think is pretty. And then over time you get to know them, and, if they have red flags, then you cut them off. But if they're cool, then you stay with them. But when you don't talk to anyone, you don't have that luxury. You just settle for what's given to you. And that's the huge distinction between people who live their lives just waiting for shit to be given to them versus just actually like making shit happen and doing it on your own. My fucking computer is gonna die, so I gotta do this quickly. If you keep first of all, labels are never a good thing. And if you're labeling something or some part of yourself as bad, and you just keep reminding yourself of, oh, I'm shy, or I can't talk to people, or anything like that, I'm not confident. Like, you're just reinforcing. And so, number one, you gotta stop labeling yourself that shit. You gotta stop labeling yourself as an introvert if you want to actually go and start talking to people. You have to stop watching the videos. You have to stop overthinking when you're about to approach someone. And you just have to do it. And the first few times, like, you're gonna suck at it. You're not gonna know what to say. Your face is gonna get red and all this stuff. But, like, that's good. That means that you're actually, like, learning and you're progressing as a person who can speak. Do your best and start talking to people. If you think you're an introvert and, maybe, like, you had a hard time talking to people in the past, or you're, very shy and that's part of your personality or whatever, like, just shut up. Like, just go fucking do it. Here's something that I did really exploded my social skills. There's a few things. So one, like I said earlier, I just tried to talk to as many people as, in the gym as possible. Now, you don't want to be having conversations, for like 10 minutes. You're trying to get in there and get out. But like, if you're about to use a machine with, someone on it, have a conversation. Like, just, a minute or two, max. Just be like, hey, what's up? Like, how many more reps you got? Like, it's just little stuff like that that really builds up. So that's one thing. Number two is actually smiling at people. This is such a cheat code. I forget the study, but there's a study that basically says that, like, whenever you smile at people, like, there's like a 98% chance of them, like, smiling back or something. I don't really remember it off the top of my head, but smiling is just a cheat code to just basically making positive reactions. It's a reflex. Like, you ever notice that when someone smiles at you, you just smile back? You do it instinctually. So that's a huge thing that really helped for me, is just, trying to smile at people. And, like, there are going to be people that, call this weird or whatever, but, like, they're going to just be losers that never actually know how to talk to people. But I'm telling you, normal people that, are actually good-hearted and, who actually have decent relationships in their lives, they smile. So trying to start smiling at people. And the third thing, and here's probably the most, like, actionable thing, try to go and talk to 5 girls every single day. Whether you think they're pretty or, like, not really, but, like, just try to get, like, that 5 every day. It's a good number. Having that checklist of, like, or that goal will really help you, take your shit to the next level, and it'll force you to do it. Now, you'll either do it or not do it. Maybe sometimes, like, you only do 1 or 2 or 3, but it's 3 more than you were doing before. And so not only is it forcing you to get out of your comfort zone, you're starting to practice these social skills, and you're starting to practice what to say in these moments. And not only that, but you're basically putting your body in these situations. And so over time, you'll go from being nervous to not nervous because you've done it before. Like, you're always going to be nervous at something you've never done before. That's why, when you talk to your first girl, it's very nervous because you've never done it before. But once you get onto your 100th, it's nothing. Notice how I didn't say to get 5 girls' numbers. We're not doing this for the numbers. I'm hoping the guys who listen aren't here to pick up as many chicks as possible and they're trying to sleep around. Like, that's not what this is about. This is just simply about improving on yourself and improving your social skills. If you get the number, that's awesome. That's great. But the goal shouldn't be getting the number, because if you don't get the number, then you're just going to feel shitty and you're going to think that you did a bad job when that's not the case. Yeah, so seriously, don't focus on getting the number. Just focus on getting those 5 conversations in. Even if you go over 5 every day for a month, I'm telling you, dude, that is not an L. That's actually a fucking W. Because here's what you're not realizing. All of your friends are not doing this. When I was doing this in my friend group, was I getting the most girls? No. I'm not 6'3". I'm not all this shit. I don't have girls coming up to me. But the one thing that I did have over everyone was I had the most friends, I had the best social skills, and I was able to actually talk to anyone that I wanted, and I wasn't nervous. And none of them can say that. All of them were afraid to talk to girls. They thought it was crazy that approach random girls, like, out on campus. And it's not even that crazy. And this is what you'll have over them. The ability to talk to anyone, and you're improving these social skills that are not just for finding that girl, but it's for acing a job interview or just improving your relationships with your friends and family. I mean, like, you can't really you can't really pass up the benefits of having these soft intangible skills. It's an advantage that you'll have for the rest of your life. So try to do some of these things that I talked about. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. But it will seriously change your life, but you gotta just do it. Don't be that guy that just says, like, I'm not good enough yet, or I can't do it, I'm shy. Even if you believe all that stuff, just start. Start making yourself better. And the only way to start making yourself better is to do the hard stuff. Go talk to that girl, or go lift that weight, or just do something. It's really not that hard.